Welcome back into the Dead Arm Sports Podcast. Josh and Jell here. We're recording on Wednesday, coming at you live on a Thursday, and it's the John Deere Classic week I have been looking forward to all week, Jell. We're going to preview that and have a big mock draft for you, a little half-point PPR action going on later in the show. But as always, Jell, got to kick it off with a question of the day. And since we're doing a mock draft today, I thought it would be fitting to get your take on what your favorite spot is to draft from. We'll just say, for the sake of it, we're doing a 12 team today and a 12 team. What's your favorite spot to draft from?
I like being not at the very top, but still near the top. I think there's generally like it depends. It goes year to year, but I generally think there's like 3 to 4 guys that are like separate themselves at the top of the draft. And I do really like getting one of those top guys. So probably that 3 to 4 range. Number one, not number one, number two, not necessarily just because, you end up getting stuck with you end up sitting there for days till you pick again. But then you end up also getting one of the lower end guys in round 2. I think probably that number 4 spot is probably my ideal spot if I could pick anywhere, just because I think there are, like I said, there's usually around 4 guys that separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So I like getting one of those top really high, really locked in top tier guys, and then taking it from there. And I also hopefully somebody in the top 3 screws up and I can get who I really want as my guy. Usually there's one guy that I'm like, even if it's just the top 3 guys ahead of me, usually one person that I'm like, the hell?
Oh, big time.
Thoughts behind that? I'm not really following here, buddy. Yeah. So, I think that number 4 spot, even I could take it back to 5, but I don't usually like going below that unless I'm at or if I want to go all the way back to 8, 9, so that I can have still a first round, a decent, have a first round pick, maybe not the top tier guy, but then I end up with one of the high end second round picks. So 6 is probably the last place I want to be, just because you're, stuck in the middle of every single round. So top 4 or bottom 4, but preferably top, at that number 4 spot, I guess.
Yeah, in years past, I'm right with you on that in the top, but it's gotten me thinking, just kind of looking at some of those guys that were going off of the top of the board in the last couple of years. It's historically been running backs for the most part. You look, CMC hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. Dalvin Cook struggled at times to stay on, and Derrick Henry last year too, where I've almost shifted mine a little bit towards moving towards the back end of the draft and getting 2 solid guys as opposed to putting a lot of stock in one of those extremely high end guys. What I like to do with my list of guys, I go through and whether that's using a platform, just kind of going through my list of who I like, running back, wide receiver, and just kind of going down the list and figuring out where I'm like, okay, this is the first guy up that I do not want at all. And let's say that is pick 16. Well, I'm good with any combination of the 2 people that are in the top 15. So maybe I'll pick the 10 spot. The 10 spot, I'm guaranteed to get 2 of those top 15 guys. So I like going down the list and just kind of figuring where that cutoff is for me and then kind of adjusting from there. I mean, a lot of people in a lot of leagues log into Yahoo and you're just automatically given a spot in the draft. Our home league, we have ticket events during the off season, and then you get to pick where you want to draft depending on what order your ticket's drawn out. So kind of makes it fun and adds a little bit of a different element to it, but can't really go wrong. I would just say that just mock draft a lot during the off season. It gets you kind of prepared for any scenario that might come up depending on where you end up getting slotted into the draft. But I like going a little bit later on.
Put yourself into a top 3 spot, put yourself in the middle, put yourself at the back half,
yes,
of, back 3 spots of the draft. And you can kind of, get yourself familiarized as to what's going to probably happen, because a lot of people draft based on ADP or based off somebody's rankings, and maybe they'll have their own biases that fit into play. biases, whether that's, generally there's somebody in your league that's just a big fan of their home team, and you can kind of play knowing that, let's say a Packer fan, they're more than likely going to take Aaron Jones if that person is available, and they're not getting ripped off. Something, that kind of thing. So same thing with any team. If you've got people in your league that are fans of, if that person is a Vikings fan, they're going to be more inclined to take Justin Jefferson over somebody like maybe a Jamar Chase or a Cooper, maybe not Cooper Kupp, but maybe over a Jamar Chase type. So know your league, do a number of drafts, see how things tend to play out, but put yourself into different drafting spots each time you do one, so that you can, at least get a good reference as to what how the general public feels, how simulations kind of come out. And, but yeah, mock drafts are a great, obviously awesome tool, and we'll do one ourselves today.
Absolutely. So if you're not already watching on YouTube, go ahead and jump on there. As long as technology doesn't do us wrong, should have the mock draft up so you can follow along, see what picks are taken in front of us, behind us, and we'll kind of walk you through what we're thinking at the time. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We can be found at Dead Arm Sports, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on Facebook at Dead Arm Sports. Gel can be found at DasGel. That's at DASJEL. I can be found at DasJPEC. That's at DASJPEC. We're also on YouTube again. Subscribe to the page, click the bell. You'll know when our videos drop, when we go live, typically Mondays, and then try and get live again another day of the week. This week just didn't happen to work out with our schedule, but should be back on there on Monday. You can tune in, got the chat box monitored, so that way you can ask us any questions. We'll answer those for you on the podcast. Subscribe, rate,
Fire is roaring for all you YouTube viewers, so you got to check that out as well.
Oh, yeah. Surprised your apartment hasn't burnt down yet, Joe.
Just testing the water still.
Yeah. See how high that flame can get before it's dangerous. Yeah. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite listening platform. Send us a screenshot of that review. Get you some sticker swag sent out in the mail. All right, Joe, what are you sipping on today? Still on the old Miller train?
Just rocking the Miller. Yeah, it's Miller time. It's Miller time, baby.
Attaboy. I figured it's a special event today.
Ooh.
Got a mock draft. Got the prestigious John Deere Classic to talk about. So I'm cracking open a Dallas Blonde.
Hey, I went to a gas station that's really close by, and they didn't have any Dallas or any Deep Ellum Brewery anything. No Dallas Blonde, no IPA, no Easy Peasy IPA. Those are usually staples there.
Yeah.
And I would have loved Dallas Blonde sounds absolutely amazing right now.
Oh, it is.
I'm super jealous. I'm stuck here drinking a Miller Lite. You've got liquid gold in front of you.
Yeah, and I can't get it by me. You have a plethora outside of, I guess, the place that you tried to.
Jesus, they always have it there. What a disappointment. I'm pissed now.
Speaking of disappointments,
I thought you were going to say, since we're talking John Deere, I thought you were going to go with the Busch green can for the farmers.
That would have been good for the farmers.
For the farmers.
Yeah. Actually, I think I do have one of those left in the fridge. I should have cracked that one. But
maybe mid-episode.
Maybe during the recap next week. Maybe I'll have to bust it out. You
gotta have one for the hashtag for the farmers.
For the
hashtag
farmers.
Not a sponsor.
Hashtag not bush fishing. All right, we touched on it. Let's talk some John Deere Classic, a little green tractor. This is at TPC Deere Run down in the Quad Cities area of Illinois, Iowa, Missouri border. Lucas Glover, defending champion from last year. I hardly
know her.
And he's back in the field, baby. Some notables in this event: Jason Day, Lucas Glover, Harry Higgs, Zach Johnson, Ryder Cup captain next year. And got Webb Simpson and Sahith Thagala. So couple
Zach
decent
Johnson,
names
boy.
out there, but yeah, Zach Johnson. Yeah,
That did
maybe,
not work out with my picks earlier in the year.
No, I forgot you picked him. Yeah, that was a big letdown. Yeah, this tournament, 18 is a very fun finishing hole. Got water in play on the left. Been some pretty epic finishes there in the past. But again, this is historically one of the weeks that a lot of the bigger name golfers just kind of take the week off, start getting prepared for the Open Championship. The Scottish Open is a lot of guys playing in that this year, and that's going to be coming up in a week or two. So not a ton of guys out there, more so any guys that haven't qualified for the Open Championship or playing in this. There's still, I believe, 3 spots available that you can qualify for still. So got some guys that are doing that. Jill, I'm very, very interested to hear who some of the betting favorites are this week.
Check this out. So there is no Rory. There is no Spieth. There is obviously none of the Live Tour guys.
No John Rahm.
No John Rahm. Ramalama Ding Dong. Not here this week.
No Big Dick Vic.
No Big Dick Vic. No Xander hardly know her. Let's start off with our betting favorite at plus 1,000, Adam Hadwin. Moving on, right. Webb Simpson plus 1,200. Christian, help me out here with this. Bezuidenhout. Bezuidenhout. I believe
it's Bezuidenhout.
Bezuidenhout. Yeah. What did I say? Bezuidenhout? Something.
Yeah.
Wheat.
I could be wrong too. I'm pretty sure I heard announcers saying that, but
Bezuidenhout. Let's go with that. Number 4 favorite, Denny McCarthy at plus 2,200, and your 5th favorite, somebody that you have probably heard of, Charles Howell III at 2,200 as well. Maybe, not great, Bob.
not great, but I will have it turned on this weekend. I can guarantee you that.
Have you by chance taken a look at? I'm sure that these 4 courses may be public. I would assume they're public, unless
it's just the one at TPC Deer Run. But yeah, it is a public course. I haven't looked to see how much it costs. It's part of the TPC, so like Sawgrass, like what's the one that was at last week? River, whatever. But yeah, it's one of the TPC courses. So it's probably a pretty penny to play.
Cheap, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the tee times and see what these, or take a look at these rates, see what we can find. But why don't you kick it off with a preview here? If you got anything else you got.
No, that's about it. I was gonna dive right into our picks so that way we can get onto our mock draft here. But if you're new to the show, every week, Jell and I make our golfer picks. Started off with the Century Tournament of Champions, and each week we pick a golfer. Whatever that golfer shoots relative to par, that's a score you get for the week. If they miss the cut, whatever they finished at prior to missing the cut, that's your score for the week, and just kind of keeping a running total. Once you use a golfer, can't use them again, so using some strategy there and not burning guys too early on, and also can't pick the same golfer as your opponent for the week. Who's ever in last place heading into the week gets first pick, and that is me. So gained 12 strokes back last week, but still 40 down. So hoping for a big week this week. And yeah, my pick. This gentleman won a major earlier this season. He's a three-time winner of the John Deere Classic, the true Captain America, Wisconsin's finest, Mr. Steve Stricker.
Hey, Stricker hardly know her. I love that.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So Stricker won the Regions Tradition earlier in the year. The major was on the senior tour, however, one shot off of the last major this last weekend. So he's been playing some pretty solid golf. Obviously, very, very familiar with the course, a lot of success here. So not necessarily looking for him to win the tournament, but I think he can at least get up there and hopefully help me crawl back and get some strokes back heading into next week.
I thought at first you meant the field or a major champion for this year.
Yeah, he did on the senior tour.
I was like, hold on, what are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
the Regions Tradition. Senior,
of course.
first senior major of the season.
Who could forget? Well, I'm God damn it. I love your pick. That's a fun one. Yep. I didn't go that deep into the weeds, I guess, so to speak, for Steve Stricker. After a 12-stroke loss, I gotta get my shit back together. I mean, Sahith Theegala should have won if he didn't shit himself last week on 18. I'm gonna go Sahith Theegala. I've been kind of
sure he's playing this week, Joe.
So I've been dying to use him all season, and the 1 week that I choose to use him at
the US Open.
He is not playing. He's not a participant. Alcohol had nothing to do with that decision.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Theegala, hopefully get a few strokes back. But watch this be the week that Stricker shows up again, as he did on the senior tour in the, what was it?
The Regions Tradition. And then they had the,
of course,
senior US Open this past weekend, and lost by 1 stroke after shooting a 6 under Sunday round, lost by 1 stroke to Padraig Harrington. So
Potty
almost won his second major
win the US senior last week. Yep. So Padraig Harrington still doing his thing. Jason Day is out there. He's had a pretty much one good tournament this year, so that was a little tempting. But I had to go with the guy that I have tried to play this year and was not able to. So Maverick McNeely as well. I think we both may have had him in our picks. I
used Maverick, I think, at Pebble Beach, and
I'm pretty sure I used him at some point as well.
Thought so too.
So he's in the field as well. Rory Sabatini, when's the last time you saw his name at the top of a leaderboard? Been a hot minute, but not
not great, Bob.
Bo Van Pelt, do you think that he's a Scott Van Pelt, maybe a cousin or a nephew? Sorry.
Probably not.
Could be. How many Van Pelts are out there? But no, I'm going Sahith Theegala, plus 2,500. So he's actually number 6 in the field according to Vegas odds. And we saw we discussed on the last episode what he was able to do, or how he was able to choke away the victory last week, losing to Xander Schauffele, but still played some pretty good golf a lot of the year. He's got 2 top 3 finishes this year. See if he can ride that momentum into a victory at the John Deere Classic. This is at least the Mexico Open had John Rahm.
True.
This is rough, but it was last year too. That's how it goes.
No, I love your pick. He's been hot lately, so I was debating between that, but there's not many opportunities to pick Wisconsin's own Steve Stricker, so I had to go that route this week.
I'm not seeing Jerry Kelly. Could have doubled down on Wisconsinites.
Oh gosh. All right, with that, let's move on, Joe. We are
about time.
We're hitting our mock draft here. Just kind of let you know how we're doing this.
By the way, this course morning rounds start at 1:19.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Afternoon rounds, like PM rounds, like twilight, starts at 89. Twilight, I guess, after 5 p.m. starts at 89. So,
not bad.
TPC course.
Yeah. Maybe you have to get down there at some point.
That's, I think, without a cart.
Yeah.
With cart, you're looking at 199 in the morning. So whatever, TPC course, not expecting to get the cheapest.
No,
not expecting anything cheap.
Not at all. All right. We're going to do a 12-team half-point PPR mock draft. We've got 13 rounds of this. We're going to do a quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, 2 flex spots, 5 bench spots. Haven't decided the draft order yet. Going to give you, as the listener, time right now. We are going to be putting this on YouTube. You can see the draft board. Again, using Sleeper, hashtag not a sponsor, but I would highly recommend. They have a great platform for mock draft. They have a nice app that you can, if you're passing time in the morning, you can have mock draft up while you're in the bathroom. It's a great way to go ahead and kill some time. But no, they have a great platform on computer, on your phone, whatever. So they're pretty phenomenal. As long as technology is working, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, Jell, so that way you can see what I am looking at with Sleeper here. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. So
looks good on my end. So let's
perfect. Yeah. The only question I have for you, Jell, is I need to you to pick one of three letters: A, B, or C. C. All right. C is team 8. So we are going to be drafting from the 8th spot of 12. A would have been your least favorite spot, 6, and B would have been 10. So right in the middle there. So
I guess 10 or 8 over 6. I'll take 8.
Yep. So pick 8 just off the bat here before we click start. Any players you're hoping fall? I mean, looking at our draft board right now for ADP, we got Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Naji Harris. So any of those stand out that you're hoping maybe slides to us?
We are doing redraft, correct?
Correct. Yes, this is redraft format.
I'm good either JJ or Naji. I would probably actually lean Naji over Dalvin Cook just based on Dalvin's injury history. So if Naji ends up going ahead of Dalvin, I would love to end up with Justin Jefferson there at 8. Otherwise, it's right now a toss up for me between Justin Jefferson and Naji Harris.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's click start here and we'll see what happens.
You can do it. Oh, come on now. Hit it.
Come on, team 1.
For
let's see what we got here.
Let's see. Yeah, having a little technical issues for any of the listeners out there. Hit that note or hit that oh Jesus. Oh jeez.
All right, let's see if that works.
Let's see if we can get her going there, bud. All right. Here we go. Now
here we go. Now we're
hey, that took that was a struggle bus. All right. So we're sitting here at number
paused.
We are sitting here at number 8. Naji Harris is still on the board. No surprises at 1, 2, 3 with Jonathan Taylor going to 1, Christian McCaffrey going 2. A little bit of a surprise, Derrick Henry going 3. Those some drafts those may be flip-flopped. Although number 4, I have to say a little bit of a surprise with Dalvin Cook going at number 4 in this auto draft.
Yeah, I would say so too. You still had Cooper Kupp out there, especially, I mean, half point PPR obviously is not as good as full point, but Cooper Kupp coming off that monster season, and a little surprise too, Justin Jefferson even jumped Cooper Kupp in this one.
Yep, totally. Justin Jefferson 5, Cooper Kupp 6, and then Austin Eckler 7. That does leave us with really 2 guys that we could look. I in my opinion, 2 guys that it's time to look at would be Naji Harris, Jamar Chase. Personally, as I said before, I'm going to lean Naji Harris, just guaranteed points every single week. He was just extremely steady all last year. Steelers also have a rookie quarterback coming in, assuming either Pickett or Trubisky. So I'd assume Mike Tomlin's going to be obsessed with running the ball. My pick right here is Naji Harris. I do love Jamar Chase, but Naji's my guy here.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Mike Tomlin even came out the other day and said that Najee's going to have to be a bell cow for them this year. And he was phenomenal last year as a rookie stepping into his second season. So I'm completely fine going Naji here. So I think we'll lock him in.
Big Naj.
Get that running back as well. Sometimes I like to typically go running back right away as long as it's not a reach, just because they do tend to fall off a lot faster than receivers. So we'll go ahead and get Naji locked in here and see what else we're working with here.
All right, following Naji Harris, we do have Jamar Chase following him. No shocker there. Joe Mixon going at 10, so back-to-back Bengals staying in the division. Nick Chubb going 11, and DeAndre Swift at 12. I would say a little bit of a shock. Is that a fine spot for Swift? I mean, that puts him as
there's been
running
a lot.
back number 9. I guess that's
yeah. There's been a ton of hype with him this year going into this season, so I'm fine with that as long as he stays healthy. Not a ton of competition behind him, so I'm good with Swift there. I mean, and then starting off the second round, you got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill in Miami, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and then you got a couple of big names sitting here, at least that would have easily been first round picks last year, in Devontae Adams and Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is still out there on the board, falling into the second round this year. Looks like per sleeper, his ADP, average draft position, 16.5. So this is roughly about where he's going, maybe a pick later, but Devontae Adams' ADP is 11.7. So he's somebody that was going in the back half of the first round, early second. Are you scared at all with him in Las Vegas at all this year? Is he somebody that you want to lock in? Otherwise, we could have a pretty solid running back combo too right now with Alvin Kamara and Naji Harris.
I think you might be forgetting that Kamara might miss the first 6 games.
For 6 games too. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about his potential suspension. So yeah, you got to kind of think about that. If he were to
swing back to me in the third, or at the end of if I were drafting 1 or 2 and Kamara were to swing back and I could grab him at the end of round 2, maybe, just knowing that if I do make a playoff push, I should say when I make a playoff push, I would have a little bit fresher of an Alvin Kamara. But here with Devontae Adams sitting here in round 2, for me it's an easy pick. I got to go Devontae.
Yeah. Other ones, I mean, Josh Allen is right there. He's probably going to go before he comes back. I'm not taking him here. This is way too early to take a quarterback.
There's too many other quarterbacks out there.
Yes. Mark Andrews, Debo, Saquon, Javonte Williams, but no, Adams is the clear pick here for me too. So like you said, Kamara would have probably went earlier. I totally blanked on that suspension from the Pro Bowl?
He would have, I would imagine Kamara goes ahead of Mixon, Chubb, Swift if it's not for that suspension, right? And yes, that did happen at the Pro Bowl, which is pretty sad. Yeah. But yeah, Devontae, easy pick. Following our pick of Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, Debo Samuel, Mark Andrews as your next 3. Back to the number 4. So, number 4 is when, or the 4th team. So he's round 2, number 9 pick. Alvin Kamara does go there. So he does make his way into the second round. After him, Javonte Williams. We'll see. I'm just iffy on him with the return of Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
the talent is obvious, but who knows, man? But at this point, you're talking about the number 11 running back. So I would definitely hop on Javonte at this spot. A little early for me in terms of round. I would love to be able to get him in the 3rd, but if he's RB11 out there, I'm gonna take it.
Question for you. I know we both talked about it. We're huge Javonte guys, and Melvin coming back was kind of a little bit of a bust for us that we were not as thrilled with Williams, but do you like him going over Saquon? I know Saquon has had a tough couple of years and has been bad, but he's the only running back in that Giants backfield where if he does bounce back a little bit, he could have some nice return there. So do you like the Javonte over Saquon pick there by team 3?
Yeah. I'm taking Javonte without a question. I mean,
okay.
Matt Breida, look out for him in that Giants backfield. No, Javonte
Paul Perkins still there?
Oh, brutal. Bring back Brandon Jacobs. No, I'm going to take Javonte Williams. From what I saw when he was on the field, he was awesome. So I have him clearly over Saquon here. Yes, less opportunity because of Melvin, but worth. worth it for me easily.
So after Javonte, AJ Brown, Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver, Saquon Barkley, start kicking off the third round, Kyle Pitts, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Leonard Fournette, T. Higgins, George Kittle, and we are back on the clock with a very tough choice, I feel like, here, looking at some of the names out there. Running back wise, we've got Zeke, Cam Akers, James Conner, David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, have a couple quarterbacks out there, and Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. And then going down the list a little bit, top wide receivers on the board for us currently, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf. So two guys in there that voiced a little bit of opinion this offseason in regards to possible trades and not wanting to be there. But what are you thinking here? Right now, we're very balanced, have Naji Harris, Devontae Adams. So we can pretty much go any direction. Are there any names that are popping out to you right now? I still think with the crop of quarterback out there, it's probably too early, but this is a really tough spot that I'm not really thrilled about. A lot of these guys we've got, after we pick, we're going to have 8 more picks before it comes back to us.
And this is where I would like to go running back, just knowing that there's already been a drop off here down to where we're at the Zeke, Cam Akers, James Conner, David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson. All 4 of those guys have legitimate question marks. So beyond that, you're going to have more question marks.
Yeah.
But I don't love obviously don't love any of them.
Every one of these guys comes with huge. Zeke, we've seen a huge drop in production. Cam Akers, what's that Achilles looking like? Because he did not look good coming back. James Conner had a phenomenal year last year. He's their main guy.
But is he going to go for
repeat
16? What was it? 16 touchdowns last year, 14 touchdowns last year?
Something like that.
That's not going to happen again. Not a chance.
No. So, yeah, this is.
And I don't necessarily want to. I would love to go Justin Herbert here, but do we risk dropping down to another tier of running back?
Yeah,
my lean right now would probably. Would be Cam Akers amongst those 4 guys, amongst Zeke, amongst Akers, James Conner, Montgomery. I guess 5 guys with not the burger shop, the 5 guys, the 5 running backs, David Montgomery. But we do have opportunity where you're looking at them right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you've got Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins that are 2 young guys.
Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne coming off of his injury still. So we could play a gamble here and maybe hopefully Breece Hall falls back to us there. Otherwise, I'm still a believer in Josh Jacobs for this season and redraft. I don't see an issue with
redraft. Yeah, I'm much more into him. So So let's take that risk and drop down to that second tier and say screw running back this round. Now we have now our opportunities are wide receiver, quarterback.
Yeah, or Darren Waller probably is not coming back, but I don't.
Who knows what that Devontae Adams?
Yeah, that's going to take some targets away from him. So I'd almost rather kick the tight end position. I think so. I think we're between quarterback and wide receiver here.
What do you think, Justin Herbert? I mean, I think that
Herbert is who I would go with over
Mahomes this year.
I do too. Just with Tyreek being gone.
I mean, I don't love taking a quarterback this high, but we're in a position where I don't necessarily. Maybe or are you thinking we go wide out here and lock in our wide receiver too? There are a lot of other quarterbacks out there. I mean,
and just with the way that this draft fell, I never take a quarterback this early, but I'm almost wondering if we do. I mean, Deontay Johnson has been solid in the past, but you've got either Mitch Trubisky kissing titties or else Kenny Pickett slinging him the rock. Terry McLaurin has all the talent in the world, but has just never had anybody really that can get his talent with the quarterback position. I mean, you got Carson Wentz there this year, but still Carson Wentz has been not that great. And DK Metcalf, I don't really want to touch him. His talent is unbelievable, but Drew Lock, that scares the shit out of me. So, and Jalen Waddle, even with Tyreek Hill there, his targets are going to go down too. So I don't know if we just go Herbert and kind of see how this draft shakes out, and then maybe we come back and say, yeah, we messed up. But that's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Let's go Herbie here. I think
All
that's
right.
what, because I was looking at those wide receivers, and my favorite of those four was Jalen Waddle, but of the four that were remaining, but it's hard to love him at the same time. And it looks like we should be able to get some sweet wide receivers. All those running backs, just about all those running backs did end up going. David Montgomery, Zeke, Connor, Cam Akers, and Gibson all went. Well, looks like we took the on.
Yeah, no,
yep.
I'm removing.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Happened.
Something got goofy. So yeah, after we picked Herbert, you got David Montgomery, Zeke, Mahomes, Connor, Akers, Waller, Gibson, Deontay Johnson. So I think
that leaves us with Herbert.
I think
never mind.
No, Herbert, but Breece Hall. Breece Hall fell to us here. So is Breece somebody? I know we have talked about this, that Michael Carter is still there. Breece probably isn't going to be that featured back right out of the gate, but is that kind of where you're leaning right now? I mean, other options then Terry McLaurin still out there, DK Metcalf, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Waddle. But no, I mean, Breece is somebody that we had talked about prior to this, that we were kind of going to play that gamble and see. So are you good locking in Breece?
Let's Breece Hall, get our RB2 locked in. He may, again, day one, who knows if he's gonna be a huge difference maker day one, but because they do still have Michael Carter there, but we should be locked in. I think Breece Hall is, especially by the end of the season, for us to have, and you also know you're going to be able to get 100% production out of Naji Harris on a weekly basis. So if we have to wait a couple weeks for us to for this roster to lock itself in, then we're golden with the Breece Hall being there as our second running back.
After we took Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Travis Etienne, Jerry Jeudy round out the fourth round. Fifth round kicks off with Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Elijah Mitchell, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Hollywood Brown. So we are back on the clock here. We've got two running backs, Naji Harris, Breece Hall, got Devontae Adams in our wideout spot, and Justin Herbert as our quarterback. So
let me jump back to the last pick of the fourth round, Jerry Jeudy. He went ahead of his teammate Cortland Sutton, who has not been picked yet. He also went ahead of Jalen Waddle and Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here? Or is this simulation? Is this auto draft effed up? I don't see how Jerry Jeudy falls ahead of Cortland Sutton at this point.
Yeah.
That's a shocker considering we're doing a 12-team redraft. If it's dynasty,
I could see. Yeah.
There's a little bit of logic there, but ahead of Waddle and ahead of Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, that's extremely interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
But I'm glad. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's not somebody I'm looking to draft, so I'm fine with that. But so I guess here we've got kind of our pick of what we want to do here. A couple different directions we could go. Amari Cooper, TJ Hawkinson. We mentioned Cortland Sutton is still out there. Obviously, Kyler not taking two quarterbacks here in our 13 round draft, so we can get quarterback out of there. Allen Robinson now with the LA Rams. Michael Thomas. So Amari Cooper, normally fifth round, I would say that is pretty solid. But again, we have no idea what Deshaun Watson's going to look like. And I'm not taking Amari Cooper if Jacoby B. Brisket is the one they're slinging the rock to him all season. So I guess for me, I'm kind of between either TJ Hawkinson or Cortland Sutton here. I think that's exactly where I'm I'm
debating.
I want to take a look at the tight ends, and tight ends still got some solid options down there a little bit later on in some of the other rounds. Dalton Schultz is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Not sure how I feel about Dallas Goedert. I feel like the hype is always there, but not necessarily the production, especially with Jalen Hurts there and AJ Brown coming over. It's going to take away some targets from him. Dawson Knox came onto the scene last year. We can wait a couple of rounds for him. Zach Ertz looked pretty solid in Arizona. Pat Freiermuth was pretty solid as a rookie last year, which usually don't see from tight ends. A quiet rookie compared to Kyle Pitts with most of the hype throughout the season. So
Kyle
Pitts. So I'm almost thinking we only have Devontae Adams locked in right now. So I'm kind of leaning Cortland Sutton here. Where's your head at here, Joe?
I have this. I'm split the same way as you. I personally probably lean Hawkinson though, just because he's been one of the top tight ends, guaranteed, locked in every single week, every year of his career. I lean Hawk. It's intriguing with Sutton, but with Russell Wilson, I would say coin flip for me, but I probably slightly lean Hawkinson just because of the positional value with Hawk here. That would be my call here. I mean, if you want to go Sutton, I'm flip-flopping between those two. So it's
sounds good. We'll lean your direction with this one. Next time we have a toss up, we'll go with my direction on it. So I will go ahead and lock in Hercules here.
Ed Hockley.
Oh, God. Yes. What a great dude.
Epic. All right. So looks like few receivers off the board. Allen Robinson goes right afterwards. Michael Thomas. And Amon-Ra St. Brown getting a little bit of love here in round 5. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Follow that up with Amari Cooper. He did end up slipping into the 6th round. I think that's appropriate for Cooper, just given that we have no idea what his quarterback situation is going to be. Finally, Cortland Sutton comes off the board. Kyler, and then Damian Harris, the New England running back. We're sitting here now with 2 running backs, 1 receiver, a quarterback, and a tight end. At this point, we're looking at wide receiver or flex. Let's focus on wide receiver.
That's what I am filtering if you're watching on YouTube, since we have our quarterback and tight end covered in the 13-round draft. I'm just leaving it on the flex. So that'll give us filters of tight ends, which we're not taking another one, and wide receiver, running back. So right now we're looking at Mike Williams is out there. DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a suspension to start off the season.
6
Brandon Cooks,
suspension.
Adam Thielen. Otherwise, running back, if we want to jump into the running backs, we've got little Miles Sanders action. Jell had talked about him on our last episode. You can check that out. Kenneth Walker, rookie running back for the Seahawks. A.J. Dillon, Traylon Burks, Darnell Mooney, Drake London. Some of the rookies jumping in there a little bit farther on down the list. Again, we're sitting on Devontae Adams right now as our wide receiver. Wide receiver is typically pretty deep. So is there any wide receivers jumping out at you right now? You thinking more so running back? I mean,
I'm looking at Kenneth Walker.
That's kind of where I was leaning too. Rashad Penny's still there, but how long is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to stay healthy the whole season? So
my lean right now is, and it's weird seeing him as Ken Walker. That just looks that looks really strange for anybody here on YouTube. Ken Walker. That
yes.
sounds like somebody's dad. But that's my lean right now. Kenneth, it's also for me so tempting for the same logic that I presented on Alvin Kamara. Present that same logic with DeAndre Hopkins, where you assuming health, you're going to get some major upside with him from week 7 on. That's extremely tempting. It does put us, though, in a position where we have to we're going to have to wait for the first 6 weeks. And if
Yeah.
you're going to have to basically have to shove a wide receiver, your third wide receiver on your roster into that wide receiver 2 slot for the first 6 weeks. If you were to go DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, if we're playing it safe, I think Kenneth Walker is the safest play while also acknowledging his upside. If we want to go boom bust as fuck, DeAndre Hopkins,
or Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is boom bust by week.
Yes.
He's not boom bust by season. He's boom bust by week. So I guess, are you thinking Kenneth Walker and just settle in with?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. We can get our running backs kind of locked in and then just kind of sit and handpick what wide receivers we want the rest of the way out. Only thing that concerns me a little bit is that we're going to have 2 rookie running backs on our roster. So definitely taking a little bit of chance there, but I don't know. Devontae Adams should be solid. Herbert should be solid. So I think we can gamble a little bit with that rookie running back. If that's,
as we've said in episodes past, Josh and I have a very, very, questionable tendency to
draft
fall for rookies, but I want to do it again.
Yep,
I'm ready to go. So I say lock in Ken. Sorry.
Yeah, Ken, get it right.
Ken.
All right. So after Kenneth Walker went, you got Miles Sanders, Dalton Schultz, Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins there going to team 4. He's liking the suspended players, also drafted Alvin Kamara a little bit earlier on. Brandon Cooks off of the board. AJ Dillon, team 2, and Juju Smith-Schuster rounds out the end of the 6th round. Kicking off the 7th round, it was Adam Thielen, Treylon Burks, Jalen Hurts, Drake London, Devonta Smith, Kareem Hunt, and Darnell Mooney. So to recap right now, our team is sitting with Naji Harris, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker as our running backs. Got Devontae Adams locked in at wide receiver, Justin Herbert quarterback, TJ Hawkinson at tight end. So I think it's pretty obvious here. We are looking for the wide receiver position, and some notables that are out there right now are a lot of question marks: Garrett Wilson, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Tyler Lockett, Hunter Renfrow, Gabe Davis. So we're got a solid wide receiver 1 in there, and now we're trying to find some upside. So we may have waited around too long. Maybe look at drafting a wide receiver maybe a little bit earlier on, but I'm still pretty happy with where our team is at right now. I've got some upside with guys. Again, Tyler Lockett is somebody that I had talked about with DK Metcalf. I don't trust Drew Lock at all to put together a halfway decent season for any of the Seattle wide receivers. So I think for me, man, we have 3 rookies on our team. I'm either leaning Garrett Wilson or else Elijah Moore, which Elijah Moore looked pretty solid at times last year, but I don't know.
I would lean Elijah Moore.
7th round, and we're debating between Jets wide receivers. This is awesome.
I would lean Elijah Moore right here. Obviously, dynasty is a different situation, but Elijah Moore was, when he got it going in the second half of the year, he really he looked really good. That's my lean. If you want to, I think the touchdown potential is more likely there with Elijah Moore. So that's going to be my lean over Garrett Wilson. I think there's, at this point, we need something guaranteed. And we got a few question marks thus far with a couple of rookies, but we also do have some 100% knowns in Naji Harris. I think Devonta Adams is going to be awesome with Carr. Herbert's going to be a boss, and Hawkinson's a boss. We got 2 other running backs, 2 other rookies that are unknowns, but let's get another wide receiver that's locked in, and Elijah Moore's my guy.
All right, so Elijah Moore it is. I'm agreeing on that one. So after Elijah Moore, Dallas Goedert, Tony Pollard, Cordell Patterson, Dak Prescott, Garrett Wilson starting off
There
the
he
eighth round,
goes.
Rashad Bateman, Tyler Lockett, and Russell Wilson
Russell the
finishing it
Muscle.
off with Team 9. So still probably looking wide receiver position here. Dawson Knox, Zach Ertz out there. Again, we already have our tight end and TJ Hawkinson here. Running backs, Devin Singletary, Chase Edmonds, James Cook. So not entirely thrilled with that.
You just mentioned Singletary and James Cook in the same breath.
Yeah,
that
I mean they're within
that turns me
spots
off of
each
both
other.
of them.
Correct. Yes. So we're definitely going to be locking in wide receiver here. So wide receivers that we have to choose from, I'll just go over to the wide receiver page here. Hunter Renfro's at the top of the board. Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk, your boy, Chris Olave.
Nope.
Bobby
Can't
Trees,
trust that motherfucker.
Chase Claypool, Christian Watson. So this is tough. Hunter Renfro had a really solid year.
Chase Claypool the other day said that he believes he's a top 3 wide receiver in the league. That dude needs to get a screw, like he's got a screw loose somewhere.
Yeah, I would say so.
I like the consensus number 1 pick, at least according to the rankings, Hunter Renfro. I mean, if it was full point PPR, he would have been off the board by now.
The only thing I'm going to veto that we already have Devontae Adams on our lineup.
That is true.
So I don't know how much I want to Las Vegas wide receivers. So I will kick that one out right now, which again, that he had a phenomenal season last year. It also scares me a little bit with Devontae there too, maybe taking away some of those targets. But so if we kind of pencil him or race him off of the board right now, already having Devontae, you got Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, again, Bobby Trees.
We may need to, I would probably say we should consider Claypool more than I want to, just because I don't know. He's got to break out at some point into the player that the potential that he has. I don't love any of these guys. But I think Claypool may have the most upside out of these guys, or maybe Olave, but Olave is going to be one of those hit and miss week to week, depending on if he can break out a big play. Or do you want to go Gabe Davis? That is your boy. Kind of but you have to consider the presence of Stephon Diggs, who I think Diggs could end up being a really, really high, potentially finish top 3 wide receiver.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of
from Allen. So I don't know. I mean, Gabe Davis did have 3 touchdowns in that playoff game. So maybe you want to carry that momentum into this season.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to do it all season long though?
That's kind of where I'm leaning at this point with Gabe Davis. Chris Olave, Saints, again, Sean Payton's gone, so you don't know exactly what that offense is going to look like. Jameis Winston back there. And Claypool's got some upside, but then again, going back with when we were debating between Deontay Johnson, Justin Herbert in that breath, that it's Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett throwing the ball around too. So can they support 2 wide receivers?
Ken Pickett.
Yeah,
Kenny.
Pickett.
Kenner. I'm okay. Gabe Davis, I'm good. I think he's got that touchdown potential. He even 2 years ago, he was putting up touchdowns. I believe he had 7 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This past year, he had a good number and a great postseason. So I'm good. Kenny Jesus Christ, Gabe Davis. Yikes.
All right, so let's scroll down. Well, let me click off this so you can see everybody's picks here. So after Gabe Davis, Hunter Renfro, Brandon Ayuk, Devin Singletary, Tequila Tom going to team 4, Dawson Knox, Zach Ertz, Aaron Rodgers rounding out the 8th round. Next up, Melvin Gordon, Matthew Stafford, Chris Olave, Chase Claypool going to team 4 as well. Pat Fryermuth, James Cook went 2 picks in front of us, and Bobby Trees right in front of us. So right now we got 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs, quarterback, and tight end. So very, very balanced right now. So have 5 picks left in the draft. So we can pretty much lean whichever direction we would like here. Some of the guys that are on the board, if you're listening to us, again, if you're listening, you can jump onto our YouTube page and see the draft board live. Got Chase Edmonds, Mike Gesicki, Rashad Penny, Christian Watson, Michael Carter, Christian Kirk, James Robinson, Isaiah Spillers.
Money man, Christian
Sky
Kirk, the
Moore.
thief.
Yes. So it's kind of tough. Rashad Penny's intriguing. However, we do have Kenneth Walker. So obviously not playing both of them at the same time, but would hedge us a little bit, as would Michael Carter with us having Breece Hall. So those are 2 of the running backs, the top 2, or I guess Chase Edmonds is on there too. But Christian Watson, Christian Kirk,
I would have loved if Woods would have fallen one more pick.
Yeah.
That
if Woods would have fallen, that would have been
easy. Lock it in. Let's go.
Easy. Yes. So some of the guys, so we've got, again, very balanced lineup. I'm looking at some of the wide receivers that are coming up that necessarily aren't in the next 8 or so picks. We've got Sky Moore, Jamison Williams, Kadarius Toney, Alan Lazard's intriguing there. I'm not sure why he's sliding down the board so much. I mean, he's been, I guess, a little injury prone, but he's probably going to be one of their top wide receivers this year in Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. But outside of that, it's a lot of unproven guys, which again, this point in the draft, that's kind of what you're getting here. So any names jumping out at you here, Joe? This is a little rough, but some guys with some potential.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take a look at Chase Edmonds here. This Dolphins running back room, it's a little bit crowded between Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, Myles Gaskins, but
woof.
it's crowded with mediocrity.
Yes.
But it is crowded. That could be a 4-headed monster. I guess we should probably take Chase Edmonds off the list here. Gesicki can't be an option right now. I don't know if I love Rashad Penny here either.
No.
Keep scrolling. Let's see what else is out there.
Then you got Christian Watson, Michael Carter, Christian Kirk, which no, James Robinson coming off of his injury, Isaiah Spillers behind Eckler, Sky Moore.
What is your temptation with Christian Watson? Are you tempted?
I mean, we talked about it last episode with our 3 players that were down, and you had listed Aaron Rodgers on there. And one of the reasons that you listed off is that he hasn't had great rapport with rookie wide receivers coming in. So I'm almost tempted. We're on the short end of our turn here. So we're looking at 8 picks before we get back. And I'd almost, at this point in time for redraft, I'd almost lean Alan Lazard over Christian Watson, which if that's the case.
I just saw Michael Gallup down there, and I think we could let's maybe focus on Michael Gallup in the next round, or Lazard, one of those 2 guys on the next round.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here.
Those are 2 guys that should be out there. So do we want to stack our running back situation with either probably Penny over Michael Carter?
I would think so. I think there's more value there because Penny's going to be their starting running back right off of the bat.
And then we throw it over to Ken Walker when
kind of where I'm leaning.
Let's roll Penny. I'm good with that. Okay. Heads up.
Sounds good. Hopefully
good luck. I'm down with some of that action. Yeah. Yeah, it's not this is the part of the draft where it's never an easy peasy.
It's kind of just seeing how your team stacks up. So had some quarterbacks go in front. So after we took Rashad Penny, Mike Gesicki, Chase Edmonds falls off the board, Christian Watson, James Robinson rounds out round 9, kicking off round 10. We've got Christian Kirk, Michael Carter, Trey Lance, and Deshaun Watson. So we are back on the clock. We only had two wide receivers fall off of the board there. So
this Deshaun pick, I don't think how draftable is Deshaun in redraft?
Not in the 10th round.
Not
maybe like your last pick.
Not anywhere near. Look at your last 3 quarterbacks going before him: Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Trey Lance, and then Deshaun. Deshaun for me falls either completely off my board or last round flyer, but personally, he's undraftable for
just me. An asterisk right now with our conversation to preface the listeners. We are recording on Monday night, so the hearing hasn't taken place yet. So if for some reason he only gets a couple game suspension, that's why we're talking like this, and surprised that he's going in the 10th round. But right now we're under the assumption that it's going to be a pretty lengthy ban. So that's why we're talking to Deshaun Watson here. So just wanted to preface that in case something comes out and we're looking like idiots. So
probably will for most of this draft, but we'll find out at the end.
Yep.
Okay. So we mentioned Lazard, Gallup. There are a couple names ahead of him that we didn't really necessarily expect. Jameson Williams is still available out there, as is Sky Moore. Isaiah Spiller is still not intriguing to me at this point as a clear backup to Austin Eckler. He'd be a great handcuff, but we didn't take.
We don't have Eckler.
So
yeah,
not
Tony Baloney's out there.
Tony Baloney. Yeah, I'll pass on him. Ramondre Stevenson. I think that it's still pretty clear that he's the number 2 back behind Damian Harris. So I'm still here looking at Jameson Williams. Again, great potential, but who knows when he's going to actually hit the field. Do you take a chance here with a guy with that upside, considering that we've got our flex spots solidified with Gabe Davis and Kenneth Walker? With Gabe Davis, Kenneth Walker, we're on our second now bench player. Is this a chance? Do we take it? Do we play it safe with Lazard or Gallup, or is this where maybe you would take a risk for the upside of Jameson Williams or Sky Moore?
Yeah, I was almost leaning just with Detroit. It still scares me a little bit with their offense. I think their offense will take a step forward this year. Jared Goff looked pretty solid last year at times. Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously went way earlier in the draft. He had a pretty solid year last year. So there is potential for Jameson Williams. ACL tear was later in the season, so you might miss a game or two from him depending on what that looks like. Otherwise, Sky Moore is intriguing too. I mean, taking a 10th round flyer on him right now. Obviously, a lot of targets are up for grabs right now with the departure of Tyreek Hill, the trade over to the Dolphins. So Kansas City, you know what you're getting out of their offense for the most part. You got a solid quarterback back there with Patrick Mahomes. So I'd almost lean Sky Moore here for redraft. And then, I mean, Jameson is very tough, but those are the two guys I think I'm between right now. I think I'd rather have an upside. So, all right.
Let's go Sky Moore and lock in
Reach for the sky.
Reach for the sky. There's that new Buzz Lightyear movie out.
Is there?
Yeah. It's just,
did not know that.
He's the featured number one guy. Oh boy. Michael Gallup almost made it back. I would have been all in.
All right. So after we took Sky Moore, Isaiah Spiller, Jameson Williams, Derek Carr, not David.
David Carr, shout out.
NFL
Network.
Russell Gage, Ronald Jones, Mondre Steven, and Tony Baloney rounded out round 10. Cole Kmet kicking off round 11. Alan Lazard, retired tight end Rob Gronkowski, Hunter Henry, Alexander Madison, Michael Gallup, and Kenny Galladay falling all the way to round 11 right in front of us.
Who'd have thunk?
Again, we are very balanced right now. We've got Justin Herbert as our quarterback. Running back, we got Naji Harris, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Rashad Penny, and wide receiver, Devontae Adams, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis, and Sky Moore. So we are pretty open to going wherever here. Got 3 picks left in the draft. Some of the flex spots that are open, we've got some potential here for wide receivers, running backs. We got Tyler Boyd, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jarvis Landry, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson. So a couple veterans and a couple rookies there. Dameon Pierce. Let's see, Rashad White, Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, Pat, I'm not into those backs. Maybe Dameon Pierce.
Dameon Pierce has potential. If he wins that starting job, you've got at least a starting running back to help out with that. But again, that's a little scary. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think, is off our board, going Sky Moore. Don't want 2 Kansas City wide receivers at all. So I guess that would kind of put us with Tyler Boyd, third option there in Cincinnati. I would Jarvis Landry. And
scroll down a little bit. I want to see what kind of other options
we are on the short end here too, so we can kind of gamble and see what other picks are there.
So I'm looking at like at Dotson, Pickens. I'm falling into that same freaking trap, but I'm looking at Dotson and he may end up being that wide receiver 1, depending on this Terry McLaurin situation with Carson Wentz. He could, is this, if we get the upside of Michael Pittman there, or you just scroll down to a guy that I think we're both pretty high on, Tim Patrick, as somebody.
That's almost where I was leaning right now, where I brought up the running back page here because I'm almost wanting to take the gamble that, and I don't necessarily think it's a gamble. I think Tim Patrick should fall back to us, which that'd be a pretty solid piece to have, especially it'd be our 12th round pick. So I'm almost wondering if we look at the running back position here, and then with thoughts that should have a pretty good shot at getting Tim Patrick there with the 12th pick. So do you see any running backs? I mean,
the two that I'm looking at right now would be Dameon Pierce and Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah.
Because Pierce could potentially win that starting job. So you've got that as, who knows if he's going to. He wasn't a super high pick, but that running back situation in Houston is putrid. So there's a chance that he just jumps in day 1 and if he's that starting running back, if we can get a starting running back in round 11, I'm super into it. Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, we're talking, it's half point PPR. He's going to get playing time. And if Miles Sanders ends up losing time, or if he ends up injured, Kenneth Gainwell becomes that much more valuable. So those are the 2 guys that I'm debating between.
Yeah,
at least at the running back spot.
Yeah, I think for me, just looking at the player ranking and the ADP, I think potentially we could get Gainwell. We could look at him again next round and then kind of evaluate. I think I'm almost leaning Dameon Pierce here. I think, like you had touched on, if you could potentially get a starting running back, granted, he's not going to finish in the top 10 running backs on the season, but if you can get a starter in the 11th round, that's pretty solid. So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now, is with Dameon Pierce.
I'm looking at another rankings page, and they have Kenneth Gainwell and Dameon Pierce literally right next to each other. So I guess let's grab Pierce here and then evaluate and see once, if Gainwell falls to us, we look at that. And then also if that receiver that we were just talking about,
Tim Patrick,
big time Timmy Tim.
Timmer. Timmer. All right, so after we picked Tyler Boyd, Denver's tight end Alberto, Tua, Kirk Cousins, Nyheim Hines, Big Irv Smith, Rondale Moore, Jarvis Landry. So Still got quite a few guys that are out there right now. Looking at the flex rankings, MVS still out there, Shad White, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, Daryl Henderson, Jacoby Myers, Noah Fant, Tyler Algier, Tim Patrick, and looking down, Kenneth Gainwell. So looking at the line here, they're projecting us with the 13th round for JD McKissick, who's one spot after Kenneth Gainwell. So we need a little bit to happen for Gainwell to fall back to us here. Tim Patrick's definitely not coming back to us. I want to see the
rest of these receivers that we have. Keep going. I think that
Nicole Hardman,
so Alec Pierce would also still be available. I think we go, given that Alec Pierce would still likely be available. God damn it. Fucking rookies. Goddamn rookies. Do you want to go running back here? Risk missing on Patrick?
I almost wonder if, we just went, I think we do Tim Patrick and then we take the gamble that Kenneth Gainwell falls back to us.
Okay.
If not, worst case, we do have Dameon Pierce, Penny, Walker, Breece Hall, and Harris that we could always take Alec Pierce.
Backs. Let's go.
3 rookie running backs. So we could always take Alec Pierce with that last pick.
Okay. Yep. I'm down.
All right.
Let's get Big Tim.
Let's see what's going on here. Oh God.
Now Big Tim over Jahan Dotson. That might be
yeah.
That may be a little controversial of a pick.
Yeah, let us know. Tweet at us and let us know what you think of our draft here.
Yeah, our boy boy's way. Oh, you shit at yourself.
All right,
we suck again.
After we picked Tim Patrick, Shad White, Justin Fields, MVS, Daryl Henderson, George Pickens, Tyler Algier, Jahan Dotson, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, Kenneth Gainwell didn't even come close.
Didn't think so.
Tyler Higbee, Devontae Parker, Noah Fant, DJ Chark, went right in front of us. So last pick in the draft, running back wise, if we wanted to go there, again, we're very balanced. So we can pretty much go any direction. We have a quarterback, tight end, 4 running backs, and 4 wide receivers. So sitting very nice. Marlon Mack, no. Got JD McKissick, who's going to get some action. Raheem Mostert.
By the way, Herbert. let me just say buyer beware if you are in a sleeper draft. For some reason, so many users are absolutely obsessed with Marlon Mack. If you've never been on the website, so yeah. There's a pretty good chance.
What does that mean for Marlon Mack?
What is it? Every damn topic that's presented. What does this mean for Marlon Mack?
Yes. So looking at running backs, I think we just avoid that. You got Marlon Mack, JD McKissick, Raheem Mostert, Khalil Herbert, Darrell Williams, Gus Bus, Jamal Williams, Chuba Hubbard. So I'm not any names there jumping out at you, Jell. Are we hitting wide receiver here?
I love Khalil Herbert. Just when he was healthy last year, he actually was awesome. But
it is the Bears offense.
Well, and that. And so no, I can't jump on any of those guys.
All right. So
Nicole Hardman, I'm out immediately. I can't trust.
Well, especially we got Sky Moore, so I don't. Yeah, not touching that. Alec Pierce, Jalen Tolbert, David Bell,
so three straight rookies as your next 3 wide receivers past Nicole Hardman. I mean, I'm going to lean Alec Pierce right now. Yeah. David Bell actually does have, I think, a chance to compete for that.
David Bell's if we knew right now that Deshaun Watson was playing a full year, I think I would lean David Bell
Absolutely.
over. David Bell was very, very solid at Purdue and could be a very good wide receiver in this league. But again, with Jacoby Brissett there, if he's going to be their starter for redraft, I'm not in on David Bell. So I need a little bit more information there. So yeah, I think I'm with you with Alec Pierce here.
Let's rock it.
All right. This is our last pick. Let's see.
All
right. Locked her in after Alec Pierce, Marlon Mack, David Njoku, JD McKissick, and
Mr. Irrelevant
Hardman. So
Nicole Hardman.
To round out our draft for the listeners, again, if you're listening, you should be on YouTube. Subscribe there, click the bell, and you can see this draft board in all its glory. But our team, we've got Justin Herbert in the quarterback position, at wide receiver, Devontae Adams, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis, Sky Moore. Come on.
You get we suck again.
Sky Moore, Tim Patrick, and Alec Pierce. And at running back, Naji Harris, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Rashad Penny, and Damian Pierce, and TJ Hawkinson at tight end. So pretty happy with this. I know it's pretty typical for you and I to end up with a lot of younger players. So maybe next time we'll do separate drafts and kind of talk through our picks.
Probably should.
But no, I like our team.
Only
I think
because
it's got a lot of potential.
Only to try to get a little bit more, I would say for some more balance, but we both end up falling in love with rookies for potential. So I don't know what kind of balance we're necessarily going to find. But no, I'm into the draft. I mean, I don't love Elijah Moore as our wide receiver too, but at the same time, I love Hawk as our tight end. Beyond Hawkinson, you're looking at Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. Dawson Knox did have, he had his time. He had his, he had his weeks where he was awesome. Fryermuth, same thing. Gesicki, same thing. But Hawkinson, guaranteed production every week. And I like that out of my tight end. And I like that out of my quarterback. So Herbert as an every week play, Hawkinson as an every week play, which you can risk. There's an absolute strategy where you can risk waiting till pretty late in the draft and grabbing a couple of quarterbacks and maybe a tight end, a half decent tight, or streaming a tight end week to week. That's absolutely a strategy to go with, and then have your wide receivers and running backs mostly locked in week to week.
Yeah.
But it's also a very amazing feeling to know every week I've got my quarterback, I've got my tight end, and I don't have to worry about that at all at any point this season.
With the quarterback and tight end position, it's unless somebody falls to you in the middle round that you're like, okay, this is just stupid that this guy's here. It's either you're taking somebody fairly early. Again, this is probably the earliest I would take a quarterback's that 3-8 spot. I still wasn't extremely comfortable, but looking at it now, I like the way that our team shaped up. Otherwise, with the quarterback and tight end, if you don't grab them early, just kind of kick them to the side to the end of the draft, unless somebody just ridiculous falls to you that shouldn't have fallen. But no, otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this. I think Tim Patrick in the 12th round is a great pick. Looking back, I would like that a lot. Somebody that you can plug into a flex spot and should get you some solid production. He's not going to win you any weeks, but he's not going to lose them for you either. So I do like that.
And sometimes that's what it takes to win a week, is just somebody that has guaranteed points.
Yep.
Sometimes that's what it takes to win a week or win a league, is just somebody that, slot him in, good to go.
All right, that will do it for this week. Appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Again, we've recorded this, so you can go ahead and look at our draft board, follow along with us if you want to. Ran a little long, but that's what happens when you mock draft. Wanted to talk through our picks for you.
Mock it up.
We can be found at Dead Arm Sports, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on Facebook at Dead Arm Sports. Again, we are on YouTube. Subscribe, click the bell. You'll know when our episodes drop and when we go live. Have the chat going as well when we do go live, so that way we can answer any questions that you have. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite listening platform. Send us a screenshot of that review. Get you some sticker swag sent out in the mail. Gel can be found at DOS Gel. I can be found at DOS JPEG. Send us any questions, comments, concerns you have about the show, and we'll be sure to answer them for you. Gel, where can they find us at?
Shit. DAS. Hit us up. I'm trying, for the YouTube audience. Subscribe, rate, review on your, or make sure to hit us up on our presenting sponsor, anchor.fm, on the web, or by searching Anchor on your chosen, whatever that is, Google Play or the Apple App Store. They allow us to present all this magic, all this magnificent beautiness to you.
Work of art.
For free.
For free.
For free. On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Pods. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review to your chosen listening platform. Also, with that written review, take a screenshot of that, send it to us on our socials at Dead Arm Sports on Twitter and Instagram. Also, just by searching Dead Arm Sports on Facebook, you'll be able to find us there. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just hit that search bar, type in Dead Arm Sports. Should be the first thing that pops up right at the very top of your page, and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And also make sure to hit that as JP said, hit that bell. Ding, damn it. That's your cue. Ding. And
Ding.
There we go. Perfect. Nailed it. And you'll be able to get
Ding.
all the notifications. All of our notifications when we go live. You'll see that. Then you can hop up into the chat box and everything. Also, additionally, when we do not go live, you'll get a notification when our videos hit you on when they do
in
end
the
up hitting
face.
in the face.
Appreciate everybody out there listening. Again, if you could tell somebody you know about our
Fire's still
podcast.
roaring.
Yes, fire's roaring. Check out our YouTube page. Tell somebody about our YouTube page. Great way for us to help spread the pod, get you even more content. Again, I hope everybody has a great, safe 4th of July weekend. Happy birthday, America. And Jill, close us out.
Nothing runs like a deer.